Okay, last class of market weathers here today. Had some give and take in this class. It's always harder when you get to these bigger weathers. They tend to start laying on quite a bit of fat, and we have to kind of manage the fat with the muscle. Going to start with our dark weather up here in front. By far the freshest handling goat in this class of all five, and that's where he really excels. He's got some muscle. He's got some muscle shape when you handle him. You know, I don't really like his levelness down the top. I'd like to see this weather a little more level in his design, a little more showy when he moves around the ring. But when you hang that carcass on the rail, you know, lean meat, you're definitely going to get that, and he does have quite a bit of meat into him. When we talk about our widest made weather, probably the day we've seen, this might be the weather here in second. This is a wide made booger out here. Ton of width down his rack. Big old wide chest floor in him. He's just a little soft handling for me today to get him up in that top spot. I'd like to see him a little leaner, a little firmer handling, a little fresher. But he's going to have a lot of meat in him when you get him hung up. So a nice weather that kind of logically falls into second spot. Maybe my showiest weather's here in third. He kind of prances around the ring. He stands on a lot of bone, real extended through his front end. Again, he gets really soft, maybe the softest handling in this class when you handle him. He doesn't show a lot of expression of muscle anymore either, and I think that's partially due to the extra cover he's carrying. But a very showy weather, very up-headed weather when he moves around the ring. Yeah, you really got to appreciate him for that. Young lady here in fourth with this weather has some thickness, you know, has some meat in it, little softer handling again than our class-winning goat, but just a little more calm in its design than the two ahead of it today. And as we get to fifth here, we just have a narrower tracking individual that just doesn't show me quite the meat that we see in our top four. We're going to go with our heavyweight class champion to the young man with the dark-colored goat here. Good job. And the young lady here for our reserve weather in the heavyweight division. So great job in the market show, kids.
Champion heavyweight market goat shown by Tyler Anderson, and our reserve champion heavyweight market goat shown by Bonnie Scott. Again, all the reserve and champions will come back tonight for the parade of champions. Check the fair schedule to see the time on that. I think it's 7 o'clock. FFA has been kind to me as first year learning the process. We're going to start off with our 4-H breeding goat show. I think we have one class 1 exhibitor. So for the 4-H breeding show here this morning, this is a junior doe, 1 to 6 months old. Shown by Miss Riley McCabe. She's just going to be the champion breeding.
And are we doing a champion in the 4-H division?
Champion, yeah.
So we only have one doe in our 4-H show today. I think a nice individual this young lady brought out to us. You know, she's very stylish doe. I like how she's extended up through her front end. She moves around the ring with a nice long stride, puts her feet down square on all the corners when she's got her set up here. You know, this is a doe that gets progressively wider from her front to her back, and she's real deep into the rear flank and well deserving of our champion 4-H doe here today. Congratulations.
Let's hear from Ms. Riley McCabe. All right, we have our first class for our FFA Breeding Goat Show. Class 1, mature doe, 9 to 10 years old, shown by Ryan Dobkins.
Yeah, I mean, peak is like that 3 to 4 years, and then 6, 7 years from what we're learning is like you want to dump them. They'll actually probably just teach her. Yeah, I do that. Thank you. Yeah. How'd it get up? That was awesome. Yeah. All right.
So one older doe, and she's seen quite a few seasons here, but she's carrying herself really good. She's keeping herself in good condition. You can tell she's healthy, a nice shiny hair coat on her. She's got some nice smoothness through her front end. She shows some extension up through her front end. Even though they get a little older, sometimes they get a little hard to move around the ring, get a little short-strided, but she's keeping her feet together really well. She moves really well. She strides around the ring real easily. Comes out nice and wide between those pins, and just a nice older doe to win our class here today.
Our second FFA class, mature doe, 1 to 2 years, shown again by Ryan Dobkins.
So a younger yearling we have here in our second breeding class. Female that shows me a lot of femininity through her front end. She's got some width through her chest floor, stands nice and square on those feet and legs. Moves around good on her pasterns. She's really up on her pasterns. Maybe like to see her just a level in her design as she comes down her top, but a nice productive doe we have here to win this class today.
And our final meat goat breeding class for FFA is a junior doe, born on February 1st, it looks like, shown by Bailey Anderson.
So young doeling class here we have. I think we have a stylish, angular individual. You look at her out here. I like how she stands. I like how she moves around the ring. The one thing I'd like to correct her, I'd like to make her a little sounder in her mouth to kind of make her perfect for me today. Hold that against her a little bit, but a real young one here that's got a lot of style and moves around the ring real free and easy to win our class in our young doeling division.
All right, so if we get our two other class winners back to the ring, mature doe 9 to 10 years and mature doe 1 to 2 years.
I'll talk you through my thought process here in this champion drive, because there is 3 different types of individuals out here. So there's definitely some some give and take in this when we get to these meat goats. And I'm looking at meat goats this day and age. For the most part, we're judging these as does that are going to put wethers out there in the show ring. And that's where I'm looking at when I'm looking at these. Now it's a little easier to look at does that are ready to go in production as we look at our older doe. Our yearling here that's going to probably be kidding next year. We got a couple years more to wait on production on this this baby here. That being said, you know, as the generations turn, we do tend to move more towards those meat traits. So in my mind, it's pretty tight race here between our older doe and our younger doeling for our champion in reserve. To me, the yearling probably just doesn't have enough capacity and enough levelness of design to get up into the top pair with those two. So as I look at this, I feel that the older doe, you got to love her volume and her capacity. The young doe, I think you've got a few more, probably more modern muscle traits on this younger doe. I think you've got a little more style. And it's a tight placing, but today I'm going to go with champion on our doeling. Congratulations. Win reserve on our older doe. Congratulations.
Can we get one more round of applause for our exhibitors and for our judge, Mr. Burns? All right, just a reminder, Parade of Champions tonight. I think it starts at 7 o'clock. Oh, never mind. We got dairy. We got the milkers. FFA Dairy. I am so sorry, ladies. I'm so sorry. We can't live without milk, right? So we got to get these ones judged. Dairy, Class 1, Nubian, mature, 5 to 6 year old. I want to make a judgment call since Ryan's going to run back and get her Nubian. So we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. I can do that. I got a permit. So we'll start with our Nigerian dwarf, March, Mary Jean Povis. Times 2. Yes, that's what that means.
They're different classes, but you're going to show them together, or they?
These are the same class.
They are in the same class.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Okay. Do not looks like you have a doeling and a doe there.
I can find her advisor.
Yeah.
I can ask them about them, yeah.
Are they the same age, or is one that...
No, she's 32.
Oh, okay, so we're just judging this one?
Okay, this is a doe with production, Nigerian dwarf.
They said doe with production is what they wanted. So that's he's judging it as a doe with production.
Perfect. There we go. Done.
We just said, how do you want us to do this?
Right. I was like,
That was definitely an age discrepancy.
let's get all the
That's right. Yeah.
So then we'll just bring back the yearling.
Yeah.
Which I work. Yeah, the yearling for the overall, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think he's even judging the small one. No, she's got...
just clarifying the class. So this is doe with produce, and the Nigerian dwarfs here. And as we look at the mom here, I think you've got a really functional doe. She's very angular in her framework. You like how she's angular through that front end, but yet when you get around in front of her, she still shows lots of width through that chest floor, so she's able to eat and be real thrifty there. As we look at her udder, very nice design on the udder. It's attached really nice in back. It's the udder attachment in the rear is correct. The teat placement is correct where they're coming straight down. So a nice doe. And as I talked to her, so they brought the one doe kid out, but I guess she also had 2 wether kids as well, and she's done a great job of raising them. I think this doeling is very similar to her, maybe even a little leveler outer hip, and maybe even a little wider outer hip than the mom when she gets a little older. But nice set of goats here, definitely deserving of first place in this class. Nice doe, nice kid. Good job. I always want to shake with the right hand.
All right, and our final dairy goat class today is a Nubian, mature, 5 to 6 years old, shown by Ryan Dobkins.
So this is another class. So
So one Nubian doe here in our older age group. But as I'm looking at this, definitely probably one of the nicer breeding goats that I've seen today. You got to switch gears a little when you're talking dairy goats versus meat goats. And things we're looking in this dairy goat is, you know, we want to see her have some width between her chest floor. We want to see her be very smooth and angular up through that front end. She's got that. You look at her down the top, you know, she's got some width as she carries through those hooks through her pins, which we like to see. We get around beside her and we look at her underline, and she gets deeper through her rear flank than she is up in her foreflank, so we like that. And for an older doe that's been through a few freshenings and had a few kids, she really carries that udder well. That ligament on that udder still holds up. Sometimes they get pretty droopy and they get pretty saggy as they get older, but a nice individual, well deserving of first place here in this class. Good job.
Ryan, you can stay in. We're going to do a champion overall female.
Yep, thank you. You're a fantastic MC. I like having a front man that's willing to talk to mine.
Yeah.
So I know we don't have a lot of audience here in the goat show here, but I think these two deserve a big round of applause. So unfortunately, we didn't have a larger dairy goat show, and that's probably fortunate for myself. I don't see a lot of them. However, these two individuals both are very strong in their divisions. I think the Nubian doe, the Nigerian, very nice. As we start looking at them for champion today, I am going to go with the Nubian as our champion doe today. I think she just has a lot of positive to her, and not many holes in her, so a really nice one to start with our champion. But well-deserved and reserve on our Nigerian here today. So big congratulations, and thanks for the goat show.
That's a wrap for this morning. We'll be back here tomorrow morning with showmanship.